Welcome to episode 2 of the I'm Quentin and this is my brother.
Lovey, nice to meet you.
All right, this episode, Avengers
My God,
Infinity War.
my God.
All right, you want to set us up with the scene?
Breakdown,
Set us up.
breakdown for you. Now look here. First of all, if you don't know what's going on, if you walk into this movie and you have no like, who are all these characters, who are all these people, I don't know. That's your fault. You had 10 years to know what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get to walk in here and upset about that. That's your big beef, like all the stuff's happening. Basically, back in 2008, it all kicked off with Iron Man. Then we got like Thor, Captain America, another Iron Man movie, which ultimately led to Avengers 1, which was the biggest movie of 2012. It was dope, okay? And after that period, we had what they call like Phase 2. We got to get Guardians of the Galaxy, some other movies like that that built to, Avengers 2, which was Ultron, and it was all right.
It was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't like terrible, it wasn't great, but it was good enough. And since then, we got Spider-Man back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Homecoming was really good.
Black Panther was dope.
Amazing.
Thor 3 was dope. Yeah, I know people don't like that, but Thor 3 was dope.
Thor 3 was dope.
It was dope. Then after that, what are we building to after that? I think, we're building into Thanos. That was the point. At the end of Avengers 1, if you stayed after the credits, you saw Thanos, which was the proof that he was going to be that guy. He was going to be that dude. So here we are. The movie starts off with Thanos being that dude. The danger is real.
Yes, we got the big bad of the universe who's finally made his introduction to our MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So, he has taken over.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken over at this point. We get a very dark opening.
Real dark. Marvel don't really play a lot of with
They
dark
don't.
stuff.
They don't
do that. Yeah.
But I love the way that they set it up with the Marvel Studios and when the distress call playing over that.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that really set the tone well. And you have Thanos in the position of power in the opening scene with Thor in the position of weakness. He's beaten and broken. And you got Loki there and another Avenger lurking somewhere in the side.
Yeah. So I mean, that is a pretty cool opening. You set the pace, which is ultimately what's telling us what's going down. Thanos is not here to play games. And before we get a little too deep into this, spoiler alert. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Okay, and then y'all had a week.
That's the whole point of this.
You had a
Just to
whole
spoil
week to
it.
go see this movie. This is spoiler rich.
This is our discussion.
All
We're
right.
discussing this movie.
It all gets to going. Loki tries to show up to help Thor because he didn't took an ass whooping, and what they do like a really good callback because he's like that whole. He said, "What you gonna do?" Well, we got a Hulk.
Yeah.
And that's just like from Avengers 1 where Tony says that to Loki. So the movie's filled with those type of Easter eggs. It's like really incredible. Like, because if you've been following, it's really rich for you as an experience. In that moment, the Hulk shows up and they use the Hulk to establish how dope Thanos is in regards to him being a threat because he puts hands on the Hulk. Wears his ass out.
Yeah,
You know
they're about the same size, about the same strength.
Yeah.
Hulk is bulkier, I guess, a little bit wider.
Yeah.
But as far as power goes, they're in the same class. But unfortunately, Thanos got them hands.
Dude.
And Hulk is just rage.
Dude, man, it was
So he got worked.
Man,
He got worked.
pretty
That was the
dope
first
scene.
time we've seen Hulk hurt that
like
way.
take
right?
a real because he got in
Yeah.
that fight with Iron Man in Age of Ultron, but he didn't really. I mean, it wasn't like Iron Man beat him up real bad. Thanos whooped him to the point where he couldn't get up.
And didn't want to get up.
Yeah, and I think
Which we see throughout the
that's what I'm
rest of the
saying.
film.
Like
He does-
establishing that to an audience, establishing Thanos is this bad. Like how bad is he? He's enough to kill.
Yeah, he just took out your Goliath.
Yeah. He's enough to beat the crap out of Thor. You see that? And now he beats up your giant, your Goliath. And so bad, so like you just said, he didn't even, Hulk didn't even come back out
Yeah.
for the rest of the film. That's a pretty interesting way to explain a character, to where you take the baddest dude and Thanos basically, hold my shirt. He turned into a
Right,
scared straight moment. So that was pretty dope.
And then we get straight to the deaths.
Yeah.
We're not even waiting to get like halfway through the movie.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, someone died.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting right into it in the opening.
Yeah, like the opening, again, spoilers, they kill Loki. I mean, Loki has had like 2 pseudo deaths up until this point because he kind of died in Thor because he fell away into the thing, but you knew he lived, and then he kind of died in Thor: The Dark World, but he lived, and he's always up to some type of mischief. But again, establishing how bad Thanos is, he chokes him to death. I mean, like a gross gurgle choke, like his eyes are bleeding out. I mean, like again, that's some DC Universe dark right there. That's we don't really see that with Marvel. So I mean, kudos to them taking that type of stance with these characters to explain how bad he is, how serious he is. And then of course he gets the what stone? I think it's a space stone.
At that point?
Yeah. He's got the space stone at this point. They kind of showed that he already got the what was that, Power Stone?
He's got the Power Stone.
Yeah, and the Power Stone was from Guardians 1. Blows up Thor's ship. Heimdall. This is what I do love. I like, because there was a lot of theories about where the Soul Stone was going to be. A lot of people were like, maybe Heimdall's eyes were the Soul Stone since he can see all this stuff. I know my theory was the Soul Stone was the vibranium. That didn't work out, but Heimdall.
I think most of us thought that.
I mean,
thought
I assumed it because because of T'Challa with the soul connections, and I was like, it makes perfect sense, but that didn't happen. Heimdall uses his power to send Hulk away to Earth, which was dope.
In his dying moment.
So the black guy dies. I mean, they come out the gate and they kill a black guy. That's pretty. That's wow,
Marvel don't care, man. Marvel does not care.
I mean, dope enough. I mean, he sends Hulk to Doctor Strange.
Yes, he is. Sent him to the School of Witchcraft in New York.
Yeah.
And we see Doctor Strange and who else is there? Tony Stone. Tony Stone? Who's Tony Stone?
The producer.
That's the producer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony Stone. With the beats. So we get this first Avengers character pairing with Stark and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because you get like the 2 biggest douchebags in the universe, like battling, like swinging dicks at each other. So I think that's pretty cool. And then you get the Hulk with his big proclamation, like Thanos is coming. So yeah, and then we get to what goes on after that?
Like Peter Parker. Well, Thanos was coming. They have the conversation about it.
Yeah.
And then the first spaceship comes down.
Yes.
The first spaceship comes down. You have your first interaction with the Black Order. First interaction comes in. It's pretty dope.
What do you think about the Black Order?
You know what? I like them functionally, but what they really ended up being like was video game
generic
micro
henchmen.
bosses. Yeah, like it's in order to get to King Koopa, you got to fight this one Koopling, and it's not. I think in regards to the movie, they being so underdeveloped wasn't so terrible, but it didn't add anything. Them being there didn't add anything. They're just kind of these CG characters who were there to produce something for the other characters to fight against, so the story could feel more full. But I mean, the movie has its weak points, but I don't feel like those weak points, necessarily make it worse for where you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, Doctor Strange has this fight with Ebony Maw.
Super cool character, man.
Pretty good, and probably the only Black Order character that gets some type
underused. I
Yeah.
thought they should have kept him towards the end.
Yeah,
rather
instead
than,
of the big old giant guy. Yeah. I agree with that because it just feels like the other characters didn't get room to breathe for us to think they were very threatening. Other than what they kind of used the guy with the glaive to do against Venom, not Venom, Vision. I thought what happened with Vision ended up being a shame. They kind of made him a damsel in distress. To kind of use the phrasing. He's just kind of there to be saved a lot.
And I didn't even really. Not that I didn't buy the drama between him and Wanda.
Yeah.
But it didn't add to the movie. Like the movie takes a step back when you get to the 2 of them, being all melodramatic.
Yeah. And it's almost like that they wanted to force a love story in there. And
they're not good at love stories, man.
They're not.
They tried with this one. I'm not feeling the Tony Stark Pepper Potts thing. I mean, I get it.
I mean,
but don't-
outside of Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. being good at selling his character,
Right, right.
they're not really good at this particular thing.
And the Hulk Black Widow thing,
Yeah.
that doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
That doesn't work at all.
That's very true.
So there's room for growth.
Yeah,
There's room for
very
growth.
much so.
Not saying I don't love the movie.
Yeah.
I really like the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
but
ultimately what we end up getting is a movie that's very good at giving us character moments. Each film
yeah,
has
yeah.
created their individual interest in certain characters, and now you just can't wait to see how they interact. So like you said,
Exactly.
with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, you're just seeing who can be more conceited out of both people whose movies are really the same movie. Arrogant asshole gets humbled, and thinks about himself and uses his powers to help. And it's the same, but you get what you get. I mean, they can't interact. But I do love on the relationship between Spider-Man and Iron Man, that father-son
works.
dynamic thing definitely works, and it pays off big time at the end because you feel it. And Tom Holland really sells his Spider-Man as the plucky son, or the ward, as Doctor Strange said, of Tony Stark. It's very well crafted, and I think that's where the Russo brothers shine.
Yes.
You know, because this film is so streamlined. It doesn't. I mean, it's moving. You know, because before you know it, we're here, and then we're with the Guardians. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
And then we do get to the Guardians and Thor,
Yeah.
which is probably the most organic
Yeah.
pairing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Every
Hilarious.
time they're on screen together, it just works, man.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I definitely love that. Because you appreciate what James Gunn is able to do with his characters. You make the space pseudo family opera, and Thor has just lost his family. So you get to see those characters interact, and Star-Lord is just consummate child with massive insecurities,
Yeah.
who's playing against Thor, who they kind of take some of the comedy off of him from Thor Ragnarok. He's still really funny. You know, they still nail what they were doing in Ragnarok, but anything that happens between Star-Lord, Drax, and Thor, it's just ballpark funny.
Yeah.
Coming back on theories we were talking about, the moment that, remember they're talking about he's got every stone but the soul stone, and Gamora looks away. Like, it feels like everybody who had a theory about the soul stone was just like, I didn't know that they're going to use this film to reveal what the soul stone is.
Right.
And I love that.
I was still holding out hope, though. I still thought it was in Wakanda.
Really? Yeah, absolutely.
thought it might be there.
Yeah. I think everybody was feeling like, I think the spirit realm, the whole Panther soul realm might be in Wakanda. I think we're all feeling that. So, but the fact that it was Gamora gave room for this to actually be what it is. It's Thanos' story, and everybody else is welcome. I mean, he's the character that gets the major character arcs because it's about him. He's the only underdeveloped character in the film who needs to be enriched by plot and story, and we get that. I mean, they use that relationship multiple times between he and Gamora to establish that he's not just some mad, crazy despot who wants to take over the world,
Right.
Steppenwolf. He's not just, he's not just that. He has a motive, and it may not be as identifiable.
Convoluted a little bit.
I mean, convoluted.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
guess it's straightforward. It just doesn't.
It doesn't relate.
Yeah, it doesn't. My problem with it was that, like, I understand that you have a solution, a clear solution to this problem but the problem itself wasn't necessarily clear.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Thanos' MacGuffin.
Yeah.
He's like, I need a reason to kill a bunch of people.
Bill Punch. Yeah.
Because no resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the film would have been served a little bit better had they spent 2 minutes more just establishing the fact that there's not enough resources in the universe.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And then I would understand the need for him to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But without that, there's not an actual need.
yeah. Well, I think that's the kind of the core villainy is we don't necessarily understand the motives. Well, they may be relatable or we can kind of get it, but it's always taking that extra mile. That's like Killmonger. We feel what Killmonger's talking about, but his methods may be something that we go, I don't agree with that. And I think the whole thing with Thanos is that we're looking at somebody who's going, you may not understand, you may not disagree, you may disagree, you may think that I'm wrong and you're gonna fail, but my sheer force of will is what gives my motives, like, right, I'm going to get this done and you will thank me for it ultimately. So that's why I think works.
Yeah, he ultimately serves as a proper villain.
Yeah.
For these particular characters.
Exactly. So
And he has a mission that obviously has to be stopped.
needs to accomplish. Yeah. Real talk. What do
So
you?
overall, he works.
Oh, hey, I think so. What do you think about what ends up happening when Steve Rogers comes back? What do you feel like that was worth the wait? You know, just to see him. We haven't seen him since.
Steve Rogers is cool.
Yeah.
Just seeing him is worth
Yeah.
it. He catches that spear, man, and like that right there is like, all right, I'm ready to get out of my seat right now.
Yeah. I mean,
And start
people
cheering.
clapped. I mean, there's
Yeah.
multiple scenes where people are like, "Yo, like, whoa!"
As
I can't
corny
believe-
as it was, because it was a little bit corny to have Scarlet Witch and Vision, you know, just I'm
Yeah.
putting up a little bit of a fight, and then like we'll bring Black Widow to save
Yeah.
the day. Like no, I don't need Black Widow to save it.
Yeah.
She's cool, but you know,
Yeah.
I kind of felt like that was contrived a little bit just to give them that introduction,
Did it be in there?
which I understand you need to introduce characters.
Yeah.
But, I thought that part could have been stronger.
Yeah, I almost feel like we're gonna get a whole bunch of deleted scenes in the DVD. You know, we're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff that goes, okay, here's the extra stuff that you didn't get to see to build these characters a little more in the story.
But when they do show up, that fight scene is
The
done.
fight scene's done. I mean, there's not a bad fight scene. I mean,
No.
this is a victory lap movie. It's not about building characters anymore. If you don't know them by now, just, you know, go to Netflix, go to, you know, a movie rental place, you know, see these movies if you want to know who they are. We just want to see how they interact and relate and how they face the threat to come.
Yeah.
And that ends up making the movie. I think that's where the movie is made. Certain, it's the interactions. There's a ton of things that I feel they could have done better, but like the character beats that you get with Gamora and Nebula, that stuff is already established in Guardians 2. So that gives it greater weight. So I think if people feel robbed of the weight of character development, you know, they haven't been along for the experience.
Speaking of which, did you need Nebula in this movie?
I mean, I can't say it's an issue of need, but she does work to move the story in regards to kind of the two dual children of Thanos. Like, here's the one that gets all the blessings, and here's the one that gets all the wrath.
Which
And-
was already established.
yeah, but you know, I mean, in a way, it's like not really, but she's there. I mean, she's there to do what she needs to do. I mean, she for dialogue reasons, she's there to explain to us. Spoiler alert: Gamora's dead. You know, she's there to make sure the Guardians know how to get to Titan. She's there. I mean,
Yeah.
She has a role in moving the story along. You know, plot
For sure, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But the whole, you know, her being suspended by strings or whatever that was, and like we got to put her eye back in. I didn't need all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because she's not central to the story for us to have scenes dedicated to her.
Yeah, and I guess
That was my problem with her. But I like Nebula, and
Yeah.
I do think she was certainly useful for those things that
Yeah.
you mentioned.
And I mean, she's only exists in those scenes to manipulate Gamora. You know, she only exists as a character going, I'm going to use you to get what I want out of Gamora. Which, again, every time Thanos is interacting with the character, it's a character moment. Like, there's no wasted moments with him because we have to get to know him. And you're getting to know his relationship with Gamora. Like, when she tries to kill him, she mourns.
Yeah.
Like, it's an odd love-hate relationship with the father that, you know, James Gunn kind of established in his films, and then we get to kind of see what makes Gamora in this film.
Right.
So I like that, you know. I like what ends up being done. So I think that's one of the strengths of the film, and what happens, you know, when he gets the Soul Stone for sacrificing Gamora. It is supposed to be a very weighty moment.
Supposed to be.
But there is a kind of dryness that I felt, and I felt that right after that, it stopped the movie's momentum in its tracks, and it took all the way to the fight scene in Titan for me to kind of get pumped again Not to say that I wasn't enjoying it,
Yeah.
but it felt like that moment was just like a tombstone, pun intended, on the story where it had to be revived through action and other things again. But to that, we're talking about red herrings. The whole Thor thing, where he goes to the planet to make Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that because what that does in any story is all the effort that Thor goes into making that hammer. You're assuming that that's going to
That's
be,
yeah.
you know, the payoff is here's the setup, here's the payoff, and it doesn't work. You know,
Yeah.
like the big fight scenes all build up to Thor throwing his hammer at Thanos. He hits him. We're supposed to win. We're all excited. The day is saved, and it's not. You know, like that payoff subversion adds to the weight of how the movie ends. You know, it's like, wow, I thought this was supposed to go a different way, and it didn't. You know, I really thought that was dope.
The thing that surprises me is how people thought that they were going to win.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, was I
yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
who thought-
Well, you gotta
who
go in.
knew that they had to lose, or they had to at least lose some people in this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like for me, like I don't know, like people like processing this like they've lost, loved ones or something. I process this as like, it's dodgeball and you got hit and you got to go sit on
Yeah.
the side until the next game.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it feels like dodgeball to me.
When you leave Avengers Infinity War, how do you feel?
I feel like I saw a really good movie,
Yeah.
thoroughly entertained.
Mm.
I spent nearly 3 hours that did not feel like 3 hours.
Mm.
Yeah, it was funny, had all the action. The structure was good.
Mm.
So just like academically, I can look at it and say this was good.
Yeah.
Love how they bookended it with Thor being underneath the thumb of Thanos in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then him losing to Thanos in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was great. You have significant deaths in the beginning and significant deaths in the end.
Significant.
So I thought that worked tremendously.
Mhm.
Worked tremendously, which is why I saw it twice already. But like I said, the deaths didn't hit me as hard because they've already introduced. They've put the time stone on the table, like that's on the board now.
Yeah.
So we're aware that we can move forward and backwards in time.
Yeah.
So those deaths don't feel final.
Final, yeah.
But it doesn't mean that that kind of catharsis is not there.
Yeah.
I mean, because when T'Challa disappears, because my
You,
dog,
you
I was
felt
like,
it.
not
you
you,
felt
man.
That, yeah. You felt that. I
not
thought
only
Karen
that,
and her
but-
potato salad was going to kill T'Challa. Huh?
Man, at least he didn't have to taste that. But even like strategically,
Yeah.
we're looking at it as like, okay, now that we have these players, like these cats have fouled out. Now we got to roll with these guys on the court. We're down to like our last 5
Yeah.
on the court. Like, how do we position them, and like who can we add? Did somebody add? And somebody does get added
Yeah.
in the end. In the
Carol
post-credit scene,
Danvers.
if you haven't watched the
If you-
post-credit scenes, man,
When people leave,
stop leaving.
how do you leave?
What's wrong with
You
you?
know, I stay at the end of
This is
movies that
18
even
one.
I stay at the end of movies that aren't even Marvel movies. Like I'll go see something like what shit came out last year, the Shape of Water. I stayed at the end of like maybe there's gonna be a post credit scene. You never know.
You never know if it's a Little Mermaid crossover.
You know what I'm saying? How in the world do people still get up and leave? But the whole thing happens. The finger snap happens. People are dying all over the world, and the post-credit sequence shows Nick Fury and Maria Hill get caught up in the same thing. And right before Nick Fury disappears, he pushes this little device thingy, and it
Got a
contacts.
two-way pager.
It
Hits up
contacts Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, which is coming out in March. So that's
Who's
pretty-
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel. Basically, Carol Danvers her story's a lot like DC's Green Lantern. I mean, she works for the Air Force. Alien gives her special powers, and she has to use them to protect the galaxy. I mean,
Makes sense.
it's a lot like that. But up until that point, she had been Miss Marvel. She got her powers through the original Captain Marvel. But I think for the last 6, 7, 8 years, Carol Danvers has been Captain Marvel, and we're going to get Marvel's first female-led superhero film. Hopefully, it's smashing. Wonder Woman was really, really good.
Really good,
You know,
yeah.
on the third act, but it was a good movie altogether. So that's coming out in March. And then the cool thing is, if you're in the know, Avengers 4, which is yet to be titled, comes out in May next year, May
Next
3rd.
year.
So we'll get to know this, how this book ends.
So we get Ant-Man,
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man
yeah,
and Wasp next, and then Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel
next March.
next March.
And then
Infinity War,
Infinity
whatever they're
War
going to call
2
it.
or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the
Yeah.
part 2 is. So it gives you that sense that the story is very much so Empire Strikes Back, the bad guy wins this one. So, but how does it all turn around in the next? Because like you said, you're left feeling like, well, we've seen, you know, the whole reversal of time thing.
and we know that the MCU is not over.
We
They're
know,
keep
yo,
making
they're
stuff.
making films, so we know, but you still feel it, like you said.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't feel like it's inconsequential. I feel like it's a movie
Right.
that had a plot, and that plot happened. It's just that, you know, we know that more stuff is coming, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because this one is going to get to have characters like Ant-Man, and we're going to figure out why he wasn't in it, why Hawkeye wasn't in it, why other characters weren't in it. So I left very fulfilled. I left
sure.
feeling like, I mean, the second and third time around seeing it, I felt like it's a much better experience because the hype is off. You know, you look at it and go, wow, this was just plain out enjoyable. It has its down moments, but they don't bring down the ship enough to make this, you know, it's better than the second one. Not quite as good as the first one, because how can you be better than the first one? But it's damn good, you know.
Yeah, it really is.
It's
It
damn good. So
So you got it top 5?
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna still say Avengers 1 is the best thing I've seen, because it's all of them. You know, Black Panther, strong second, because it finally had a very solid feeling story, and it's not just because I'm black. And I know people be, you're just saying that because you're black. No, it's a good story, great villain. Winter Soldier,
Winter Soldier,
3.
yeah.
Then I would probably say probably Civil War, which is, you know, Avengers 2.5, and then I would say Infinity War. I mean, this is a damn good movie.
Yeah, yeah. Without actually thinking about it, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's probably
Sounds
how.
like
I
a
mean,
good 5.
Black Panther and Avengers 1 could probably be interchangeable, but I really like this one. Highly recommend it, and we're gonna be back to talk about. We coming back to Ant-Man. We're gonna do Ant-Man.
Sure.
Yeah, why? Sure.
And music.
Yeah,
Doing
and
music
music and
reviews, too.
things. We have other thoughts other than cartoons and,
Mhm.
and movies. I don't have a lot of other thoughts other than that, but I do have
That
other
is it,
thoughts.
ain't it?
And I think that's
Yeah.
about it. Music. Yeah.
Kierkegaard. You like
Yeah.
Kierkegaard?
He likes Kierkegaard. So, but yeah, you know what? Tell us your thoughts. Who do you think's gonna show up in Avengers 4? What do you think's gonna happen? Get in the comments. Say some stuff. Share your mind. Let's converse. I didn't say conversate. I said converse.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. We're making it. We're making
Yeah.
strides.
We're making strides. Converse. Use your
And
brain.
Infinity War sitting at 84% on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes.
Word.
So there's, I can't do math, 16% of you out there that didn't like it. So
Yeah.
if you didn't like it, we want to know why.
Who didn't like this movie? If you didn't like this movie, talk about it. Say what you feel.
Let us know.
Holla.
Next time.